FM, who will, as the happenings around us get as complicated as they can be. Street Report is here to make sense of it all. Street Report is causing social change across your streets, in your community. Street Report is here with hardcore journalism to get to the root of our problem. Why don't you join me, Martin Ifanishku, as number the force every Friday, 4:30 p.m. on Apple 103.5 FM as Street Reports unfolds in your face. On your mass in the corner 24/7, 24/7. Hi, I am Martin Ifanishku. I say my name to define mass media, and it is defined. I am Martin, journalist to the core, a broadcaster if you will. I am Martin, the film director. I am Martin, producer. CKC call me metal or mobile 50. Osuma call me metal. For know me as the lyrical killer. Who calls me Papoa. Whenever I look at the sky from here, I think the most time was cool.
Yes, it's about time. It's about that time. It is Yahweh's time. That time when we get to have fun in looking at all we have to look at, basically. It is Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving. Epa Nshuku, AKZ, as our number the first, the one, the McCall. Meta. Of course, it is very important, it is extremely important that we discuss, that this today, like today, we celebrate, this day. It is not easy to survive throughout the year, and this program brings us that opportunity to look at all of our challenges as a people, and reminiscing now, looking at all of the things that happened this year. You don't like all we have to say in this program right now is thanks to the Most High, for all that we have come, like we've been through a lot, and then this year, and we are here now, we are still doing this. It calls for Thanksgiving, I guess. That's how I'm looking at it right now. Yes, over time we've served the purpose of the fourth realm, of the estate, the responsibility of the media. We try as much as possible to serve that purpose here, and we position ourselves, carry out a whole lot of things, from the transition of Governor Soludo down to all that have unfolded over time, like all we see unfolding over time in the state, around us, everywhere. Street Report is always there to talk about it, That's exactly what we've been doing this year, basically. It is, it pays to see the social change we cause, basically. That's exactly what we're talking about. We are thankful for the social change we are causing right here. And if you look at it, from that particular point of transition to now, Anambra people, we are not the same. Though that same attitude we had, that kind of supportive attitude we had for Governor Soludo, I don't think it is like that. Like it seems like there is a fallout already with the people and the governor and the government, basically. There seems to be. But ever since we have been here serving that purpose of ombudsmanship. So this is how I bring you into this particular edition of Street Report on Ebona Day 103.5 FM, and it is unfolding already. We are going to take a look at, majorly the most important things. And when we do this, you get to understand, when we do this, you get to understand basically. The issue we'll be looking into today basically is that issue, you know, uh, honorable member of the House of Representatives, known as Kazaure, made a lot of claims that we are like that is still being considered conspiracy theory, but with the facts that he is presenting so far, it is no more that much of like it's not conspiracy anymore, with all the facts that is coming out. So all of these we are going to discuss it because basically even the cashless, like the cash limit policy, cash withdrawal limit policy of the CBN is in question now. It is part of the things that we are going to discuss. So it is very important that we talk about this today because already he is pointing out, Kasore is pointing out a lot of things, how it is going to affect the common man basically. And he's pointing it out. And that's the reason why he even made attempt to get the CBN governor arrested at a point, which failed though. But a lot of Nigerians are paying attention to what he is saying so far. So this will be the cause of our discussion on this particular edition of Street Report on Ebonade 103.5 FM. And in that same spirit, let me begin by saying rest in peace to the souls of the House of Representative member who was beheaded in the course of the affairs of this year. At we was unfolding, we saw it on the news. It's part of the things we saw. We're also going to, say rest in peace to the soul of the President General of our Ndibo. This is also what thing we are seeing in the news. He also have been an active uh, person in this year, in all that is going on, starting with the security issue, even the fact of even calling Simon Eber to order a whole lot of things. He has been very active, even in the moves, trying to get to the president to see what could be done for Nnamdi Kanu. He played Odumegwu Ojukwu came back to Nigeria after that war, and then the reconciliation issue and how that wound was mended. Basically, he played a big role in all of that. So we celebrate the President General of Ohanese Ndibo. And now, as we move closer, very close to 2023, just a day left, and there is something we must look at. We must take a very good look at this, If we even want, like, if we want that 2023 to pan out well, we have to pay attention to this. So a lot of things we consider conspiracies like on the front burner of the news with a lot of facts, and we will look at these facts. The best way to get started in a new year is to plan properly. And we are talking about planning with the master planner, but I will tell you all about that on the new year edition of Street Report on Ebona, the 103.5 FM, by the grace of the Most High, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. It's not by power now, and it's not by might either, but by the Spirit. So talking about conspiracy theories that now are facts, that we can hold on to. In the course of campaigning for 2023 presidential election, Al Mustafa, who served under the regime of General Sani Abacha, revealed a lot of things, starting with the fact that a lot of mineral resources are sold or exported in Nigeria or outside Nigeria without the knowledge of the Nigerian people. A lot of he made this claim that a lot of mineral resources are generating a lot of fund, and even the government don't even have proper records of those money or the fund generated from those mineral resources. But that will be a discussion for another day, as our focus is centered on the activities of the central bank lately, the cash withdrawal policy, in which Kazure is asking questions on how the common man in the village is going to survive all that is going to unfold, based on this cash withdrawal limit policy. And in order to talk about Gundaji Kazaure, the House of Representative member, who is tackling, like he's trying to unfold some of the corrupt practices that is going on in the corridors of power in one way or the other. The first place we began to hear so much about him is when he talked about the alleged 89 trillion naira stamp duty controversy. And then House disowned him for doing that. Now, let me tell you how it went down. The Speaker of House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, has distanced the House from the ongoing stamp duty charge controversy between a member of the Green Chamber, Gundaji Kazure, and some government officials. Mr. Kazure, who represents Kazure. The lawmaker represents Kazure, Roni, Giwa, Giwa, Yaku, Yakwanchi Federal Constituency, and he made the claims that, the lawmaker claimed that President Muhammadu Buhari appointed him as the Secretary of Presidential Reconciliation and Recovery of all stamp duties. And then he said he also accused the Central Bank of Nigeria Governor Godwin Emefiele in connivance with some people to truncate the efforts of the committee to recover the money. He went further. Kazure from like Gbajabiamila now started saying that, okay, from his own understanding, that Kazure is working with whoever he's working with. If it is necessary for them to come into the case, they will. But so far, he is left alone to solve whatever issue that he's talking about, basically. Now, on this one, Speaker of House of Representatives Femi Gbajabiamila had disclosed why the Green Chambers cannot call member representing the Kazure, Roni, Biwa, Yankwashi constituency of Jigawa State, Honorable Gundaji Kazure, to order over his allegations of mismanagement or embezzlement of stamp duties fund and cover-ups by the administrative officials. The speaker told State House correspondents after a private meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari at the presidential villa said that Kazure's assignment was independent of the House of Representatives and so cannot be called to order, adding that that can only be done if he impugns on the integrity of the House or individuals or leadership of the House that have nothing to do with what he is doing. Asked if the issues raised by Kazure came up in the meeting with the president, Gbajabiamila said Kazure, from his own understanding, is working with whoever he's working with. If he necessitates the House coming in, we will come in. If he has an official function, he should go ahead and do his work. But this has nothing to do with National Assembly. Not that I know of, he said. Anyway, the claims, this Kazure is making is like cumbersome. 89 trillion naira stamp duty controversy. One of the things he is saying is that even this, the amount of money he's talking about that is like that is being taken away, that is in so many accounts of the CBN, he's trying to say that this money is enough to settle our debts as a nation and even move us forward. So, what he is saying, a lot of Nigerians are paying attention to what he's saying already. So, and then officials are beginning to like disown him, but yet he's not closing his mouth and he continues speaking. The thought here is, do you think he's doing it for the common man, or or do you think this is okay, another kind of politics playing out? But the way he's going about it, he's stepping on toes that he's not supposed to be stepping on in the first place if he's working with those people, but he's standing out basically. So we need to pay a closer look to what he is saying basically. Gbajabiamila is not the only person that is disowning Gundaji, Kazure. But for the common Nigeria, he is making a lot of sense, and he even went further in trying to get to arrest the CBN governor, which was prevented, of course. But he is making a lot of points that Nigerians are paying attention to. This is how I welcome you once again to this wonderful edition of Street Report on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. I remain Martin Ifan Shuku Ikizie as our number the force, the one them I call Metal. Let's calm the nerves with this first, and then when we get back, we'll continue on this story. So stay tuned, as Sweet Report continues to unfold. Boom! Two. Then Bella de Ride, then one time, then one time, then Bella de Ride, then one time, then one time, then Bella de Ride. All of them combine at the one time, then the boom, boom. Way too cool, way too big to cover touch. Because I'm way too fat. Hey, hey. Way too smart to catch a fish. Way too cool to catch a fish. Nigeria, baby. Way too big to catch a fish. Because I'm way too fat. Way too smart to catch a fish.
Ebona, the FM 103.5.
Then I believe it. Then I believe it. Then one time, and one time. Then I believe it. All up on the combine and the one time. Yes, a lot of things will begin to happen from the 31st and from January. A lot of things will begin to unfold that is going to affect our lives, and that is exactly how Kazure is talking about this particular issue of the CBN, cash limit, cash withdrawal limits. And he's also talking about a whole lot of things, all that is going on with the CBN, even this stamp duty allegation that he is also making. He was also talking about the fact that okay, the amount of money that is in so many of the accounts he's talking about in CBN, is enough to offset our debts as a nation. What do you think of this one now? You're welcome back to Straight Report on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. I am Martin Ifan Shukwe as I number the first, the one that I call Metal. Yeah. Anyway, before we understand exactly what Kazure is talking about, we need to understand the CBN cash policy and see if some of the claims he's making is even factual. Let's see. This is understanding CBN's policy of cash withdrawal limits, and then 2 weeks after the unveiling of the new policy on cash withdrawal limit by the Central Bank of Nigeria, operators in the nation's financial system have launched into feverish negotiation, planning, and strategy to ensure that the new policy, which is bound to reduce customers' traffic to banking halls, does not affect their operations and balance sheet negatively. Now, the new withdrawal limit was coming after the CBN began the distribution of its newly redesigned banknotes, which is said would help check inflation, counterfeiting, and corruption. On the one hand, are Nigerians who welcome the development, hoping that the policy, which CBN claims is in line with each cashless policy, will encourage more Nigerians to use alternative channels to carry out their banking transactions. On the other hand, some Nigerians have criticized the policy, saying that it will translate to a negative effect on daily businesses. Feelers from the business community also showed that the new policy, which is due to kick off on January 9th, 2023, may lead to a revision of their policies to reflect the enthronement of the cashless policy, which is kernel of the CBN action. Now, the directive on the new cash withdrawal limits was contained in the CBN letter dated December 6th, 2022, which was addressed to all deposit money banks and other financial institutions, payment service banks, PSBs, primary mortgage banks, PMBs, and microfinance banks, MFBs. The new policy followed the Apex Bank's recent currency redesign project, in which it had expressed concern over the high volume of cash outside the banking system. Now, under the new dispensation, the central bank restricted the maximum cash withdrawal over the counter (OTC) by individuals and corporate organizations per week to 100,000 naira and 500,000, respectively. It stated, however, that the withdrawal above the threshold would attract processing fees of 5% and 10, respectively, for individuals and corporate entities going forward. In addition, third-party check above 50,000 naira shall not be eligible for OTC payment, and why extant limits of 10 million naira on clearing check remain. The new withdrawal regime further pegged the maximum cash withdrawal per week via automated teller machine (ATM) at 100,000, subject to a maximum of 20,000 naira cash withdrawal per day. Also, only denominations of 200 naira and below shall be loaded into ATMs, while the maximum amount that can be withdrawn via the point of sales (POS) terminal was limited to 20,000 naira daily. Now, remember that Kazure is talking about the kind of hardship that Nigerians is going to experience because of this policy right now. He's pointing it out. He's talking about a whole lot of things. And he's trying to say that, okay, this is going to affect people who run POS in so many areas, and he's going to affect the person who is in, like persons in the villages. He's asking a lot of questions. What about the people who are in the villages? How are they going to survive and all of that? Do you think he's doing this for the common man, or do you think he's fighting for the money bag politicians, just the way Atiku Okowa campaign accused the people who are going after the CBN governor as people who are like the money bag politicians, or the bullion bank, or the bullion van, politicians. Do you think this guy is fighting for the common person, or do you think he is fighting for his own selfish interests? That's another question we have to ask ourselves. Now, let me bring you up to speed on a new development. Banks stop Naira cards for online POS transactions abroad. Banks have announced stoppage of use of Naira card for international online and point of sale POS transactions. The banks also place limits on how much a customer can withdraw from offshore ATMs with dollar cards. In one of the messages to customers, GTB yesterday stated that it would no longer permit online and POS transactions with Naira card effective December 31st, 2022. It also said that use of dollar card will have to comply with international spending requirements, including $1,000 daily limit or Naira equivalent. In the note titled "Update Your Naira Card for International Spending," the bank said, we write to inform you that you will no longer be able to use your Naira MasterCard for international online and POS transactions effective 31st December 2022. Kindly note that you can use your GTB dollar card for all your international spending requirements. The card restriction by banks is part of the moves to reduce dollar spendings abroad and save foreign exchange for the economy. First Bank of Nigeria Limited had suspended international transactions on its Naira MasterCard from September 30th. Banks' decisions followed consistent dollar scarcity and challenges faced by manufacturers and other real sector operators in sourcing foreign exchange from economy. Now, with all that is going on when it comes to the economy now, with all that is going on, both CBN Governor Emefiele and Kazaure, we don't know who is the protagonist and who is the antagonist. We don't know who is the hero and we don't know who is the villain right now. And that's exactly what we have come to figure out on this particular edition of Street Report on Ebona Ade 103.5 FM, and right about now, this is Street Report, and every time we get to give you a report. But today I have a voice bite, for you. Hear from Honorable Gundaji Kazaure. Take a listen. When we come back, we get to, reason some of these things that he's talking about, how it affects the common person. Take a listen, and I'll be back.
Today, as a deputy civilian governor is here, before the floor of the house, I quickly came late, but I rush. I meet her. When I raise my hand, speaker intend to allow me to contribute, but he seek the advice of the deputy speaker. The deputy speaker told him that he should not allow me to talk. And definitely, Nigerian must know why the deputy speaker tells the speaker that they should not allow me to question the deputy civilian governor. Because I came with my documents, because all the questions they are questioning her, They didn't question her what is supposed to ask her about the economic of the country. The CBN, they are hiding monies in different accounts, which is the...
Just take your time, listen to this message. Let's watch.
Today, as a deputy civilian governor is here, before the floor of the house, I quickly came late, but I rush. I meet her. When I raise my hand, speaker intend to allow me to contribute, but he seek the advice of the deputy speaker. The deputy speaker told him that he should not allow me to talk. And definitely, Nigerian must know why the deputy speaker tells the speaker that they should not allow me to question the deputy civilian governor. Because I came with my documents, because all the questions they are questioning her, they didn't question her what is supposed to ask her about the economic of the country. The CBN, they are hiding monies in different accounts, which is the money is enough to solve the nation debt, local and the international, to fund the budget without borrowing, and to even add our foreign reserve. So that is why they're supposed to ask her that question. What is that money are? I'm sure media, you see, we've released some document through the point blank. We released 29 account names and number, where the 70 trillion is there. If somebody said that money, there is no that money in, the money is more than 70 trillion or 80 trillion we are mentioning. But why the leadership refused to allow me to talk, to ask her a question? That is question number one. Then question number two, if you look at the situation we are going in this country now, the people in the village, all of you have villages, you know villages. Some village there is no network. Some village there is no bank. Our local people that are selling fish, yam, maize, rice, animals, in the villages, they are not using bank. Some they don't have bank account. Look at the frustration is coming in the next days. I want you media to understand this, what I am saying. Indeed, in the next 1 month, this country, the frustration will be high. You have to educate the government and the people. They say if a man from village come to the local government from his village with his money like 100,000 or 200,000 to change in the bank, they will not give him cash while he came with the cash. He must open account. Somebody from the local government to his village is almost 50 kilometers. Somebody can spend 1 month, 2 months, he never come to the local government headquarters. He is doing his business with his money. He don't have bank account. When he brought his money to the bank, they will not give him cash as he brought cash. He must open account and give him a ATM card. While in his village, no network, no bank, no ATM, no POS. So how village people can do business with the cash? This is what media is supposed to educate Nigerian people to understand. A village people, how now can you use cash? You cannot use cash and buy and selling in the village market. How are they survive? And majority of the Nigerian people are common people. Almost 150 to 130 million people, they are suffering. So I surprised this leadership. They refused, allowed me to talk. I don't know why. Oh, because they are benefiting from the CBN. I don't know. I don't know why. This is deputy CBN governor that money hidden in different accounts in the CBN. That is enough to solve the nation debt, national and international. Why they refuse to open stamp duty central account to move that money to settle the nation debt, to fund our budget without borrowing? This is what I want to ask her. That money in different account hidden in the CBN. If you can see point blank, they released 29 accounts with the names, with the money of 70 trillion. Is anybody came and challenged them that that account number is lie? So it means the 70 trillion is there hidden in different account, in different commercial banks, including the CBN, but under watch and control of the CBN. So that is why I want to ask her, why has they fear to open stamp duty central account? Secondly, why MFL run away? Why did the CBM governor run away and refuse to come back and send her? I know how we invite. We invite the CBM governor. He ran away. He's on the run away. That is why we decide to arrest him because already he's on bail, and we are not satisfied with the way he is doing. And I want you media to tell Nigerians today, the DSS, they went to court. Some prominent people in this government went to prostrate the court and tell the court they should not allow to give DSS the detention, 60-day detention order of MFLA because the DSS has a proof. They see some accounts where MFLA is giving loan to terrorists.
So there you have it. You just listen to the voice of Gundaji Kazaure, Honorable Gundaji Kazaure, and he's making all of these claims. Remember that he is a member of the Nigerian House of Representatives representing Kazure, Roni, Wiwa, Yankwashi constituency of Jigawa State. So he was talking about even the stamp duty, even before the issue of cash withdrawal limits came up. That policy came up as well as a result of the redesign of the Naira. Now, the question today is very simple, you know. Do you think this particular honorable member of the House of Representatives is fighting for the common good of Nigerians, or do you think he is fighting for the political class? You know, and then even from that political class, we've heard somebody say that he, like the people going after the CBN governor, are those politicians, the bullion van politicians, the politicians with loads of cash, that they are the ones, you know, going after the CBN governor. Now you can hear this honorable member of the House talking about the common person in the villages. How can they survive this cash limit withdrawal, that is cash withdrawal limit or policy of the CBN. You know, that's exactly what he's talking about. I said, but at the same time, we'll still venture into the thoughts of World Bank on the issue of Naira redesign. You know, we are going to venture into that. But remember that to become part of this conversation, the numbers you will call to become part of it are 080 9666 1035. And then we'll talk about it. What do you understand about all of this that is going on in Nigerian political space today that has to do even with our cash economy and the rest of them? It concerns us as a people. When it begins to happen, we are the people who will be affected the more. So let's hear from you. What is your thought? Hello?
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening, my brother. Your name and location?
My name is Makadola, coming from Nimo.
Okay, please go on.
Well, I'm on Nimo.
Onwelo, Sobano Nibo, Onwelo.
Obi di moto ta na no iye nwoke ma na ekune national air.
Okay.
Ihe anyị bụ ọkịta. Kịta ka anyị ma na ihe ndị a na-alụ anyị mathematics n'isi na Nigeria.
Okay.
Ọkwa ịghọta?
Na-aga n'iru.
For instance, after Ekene Ukpoku some days ago, na-achọsị ka Atiku win presidential election ka Peter Obi step wada.
Okay.
Ebe a gosi anyị na ndị a wuzi statement faji anyị eme business at this country.
Okay.
And chọrọ ka anyị mara ihe wee eziokwu. So mụ na-ebelieve na that man Igbo steeti ya kịta ihe ọ na-ekwu bụ interest of Nigeria chọrọ ka anyị mara the secret of our money, ebe our money na-aga. Again, ndị asọpụ CBN gọvanọ na-abịa na Zani okwu. Ndị a niile wụ ndị na-arụ against the masses na Nigeria.
Okay, mana CBN gọvanọ sendịkwa the deputy ya nọ na nyanwa na-ekwu nọ CBN gọvanọ kwesịrị iji aka ya bịa.
CBN gọvanọ ga-akpọla ka ebe gbasara ndị deputy ha na-abịa okwu. Onye akpọwụ CBN gọvanọ, the governor himself ga-akpọla okwu onye nwere ihe dị in charge of our economy. Ọ hapụzi anyị ji azazi okwu ọsọ nwata nwaanyị ka nwata nwaanyị bịaza okwu akpọrọ ya. So ndị aji anyị egwu egwu na the country mana anyị na-ekiriba enweghị ife na-eme na anyị na-ekiriba anyị nwere ndị youth anyị decide ka anyị tụọ the vote anyị afọ ebe adị anyị. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us this evening. It is still Straight Report on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. What is your thought on this one? It is important that we talk about this. It is going to affect everybody that is involved. It is going to affect Nigerians. And right now, Kazaure is talking about the kind of hardship that is going to come 3 months from now from this particular exercise. What is your thought on this? Do you think he is fighting for the common Nigeria, or do you think he is fighting for the political class to maybe stop the cash withdrawal and then, allow the political process that will allow a lot of cash spending in the process, I guess? But all the people in the villages, don't you think that he's making a point? Let's hear from you. 08096661035. Yes, let's hear from you. Hello. Good evening, my brother. How are you doing?
No,
I'm very fine. I'm going to visa by.
Okay, yes, and I need to go near my Nigeria.
Okay.
I let them walk on.
Okay.
This man make every allegation on that is against the government. Then on our fight, the masses. But the Ruta masses here to survive in this national economy. I believe he can Nigeria and money.
Yes, we'll be the car.
Yeah, the woman he can get money to 1,000 naira, 500 naira, and
200 naira.
200 naira can be the guy.
Then,
after that, I don't 20,000 naira and
cash limit.
You withdraw. Because I do not do. So don't be 20,000 naira was now what for them? That's 20,000 naira limit.
Oh, like
the top, only big men.
Now, Kazaure na Kawa no ga affect the poor masses more. So Man, at the same time, he had a mechanical at the time, Kamana got up some cash, now run a banks and everything. So at the end of the day, Amazon got at the issue. So okay, hilo.
My brother, my brother, I'm going to be on that work and I did him one day and Nancy over there. As far as I'm concerned, I'm not supposed to have my brother.
Okay.
Over me and almost in the bank.
Okay.
Because I need you to catch because rather than transfer of money, and you draw some money for myself. So that's 20,000 naira I will give you more for my friends. All the big men, big million now will put and the CBN now walk again.
Okay.
Big men, about the small.
Okay.
All sorts of big money and then power when I come up and say do a 10 year withdraw only 20,000 naira a day. So in front of this man, they more confused. That house member, they confused.
Okay. Okay.
Only 20,000 naira now, one for the big man. Only one for the get up for Ghana. I thought you this new naira. Come on, we're collect the hijack here.
Can you
look at acceptable?
Okay.
You look at acceptable that poor man who do it. Now fight against that thing.
Okay. Now,
poor man who do it in a bank. And I talk in here. We look at the problem. I talk that I have really more money.
Okay, now the thing here now. Even before Obido Kwanka, and where the issue of stamp duty, on equal stamp duty. Now Central Bank plus account for stamp duty centrally, and then so many accounts go the hidden. He made claims of 89 trillion naira. The hidden. Now Malo Makia, the presidency, the Senate, now Maliho Nehu. Can you hear for Nanka?
My brother, it was about it's not like that, and what is more politically.
Okay.
And so much manipulate.
Hello? Okay.
With this, I think I was straight to the getter. Because I'm an agency. You don't want to talk. But if you not all that money, that's why they look at all the politicians and all these million people and I talk at this one. About this one, before. So this one, according to one I talk to me, you confuse this college, they already confuse people.
Okay.
But confuse them the more. You text me to the plan going on affairs, you all talk about this. What they do right now and at the same boy, I try to do it against you. That's all they do when I bank. So this one is because that's all why you brave and you have to be educated. You didn't have to sacrifice I think that's wrong. Why do you have to work? They want more people. I think to me is set on arrival. I don't know whether she be able to committee to more because I want to as far as this thing is concerned, this is the beauty of the vendors are more. Man has a plot without 20,000, but man at least. The time we have to come to
okay.
And I didn't define the yourself to go say the God is quiet.
Okay.
The Bible said that we can now what I know. I don't know why marriage is appointment this man. Okay, that's the time more. I tell that fresh security and not fresh idea already.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Thank you so much. Yes. Yes. It is Street Report on Airborne, the 103.5 FM. That is his own take. What is your take on this issue? Do you think that Gbajabiamila Kazaure is working on behalf of the common Nigerian, or do you think he's, the political class? Let's hear from you. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Good evening.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah, evening. Your name and location. Okay, Gbajabiamila Biko. Kebi si agba first, so kebi si agba before Gbajabiamila. Kebi si agba.
Ana ma saba now.
Okay.
Ana ma na tini.
Ngwan Gbajabiamila.
Na yemu wa na eku Bona this 20,000 or what the 2 4 or what.
Okay.
Because the reason they go na who want to say to say the day is the day one me. And I make the cat, and I can do the
Okay.
You can go now. anụ nwaanyị ka nna azụ bịa ya onye osisi mere transfa ọ sị na onwere akaụntụ na ọ naghị ejere bank ike bank ya dịrị ya onye njege withdraw ego na bank nkwụta ụgwọ wee bụrụ nlodo ngwa ya wee naba maka nkịta mkpụrụ ego na moto wee debe ọnwe ka ndị ori chere ọgwọ m ndị nwere batụ na ọgbata ha mụ ga-enyefe ego ba ndị mmadụ ka m na-egotere afịa
so ị na-akọwa na ife a Gbajabiamila Kazaure na-ekwu na ọ ga-affect bụ ndị nwa as an individual.
Yes, ọ na-affect ife o mere na ọ bụrụ ọzọ big man.
Hello?
Nke ọzọ a niile na-ekwu
the stamp duty.
Nke ọzọ bụ na ọ dị nde ma o nwere chọ ka akpọ ite ọ nwere ya na kadeti na nke ọzọ enwere ya na kadeti ahụ ebe gaadị a na-etiti ibu don't worry ọ ya pụta ibu ọ pụta ite adịghị na achọkwa
Okay. One, thank you so much for joining us this evening. Thank you so much. It is still Street Reports on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. But remember that under the new dispensation, the central bank restricted the maximum cash withdrawal over the counter OTC by individuals and corporate organizations per week to 100,000 and then 500,000 respectively. Let's hear from you. Hello. Yes, good evening, my brother. Kekime.
That about 30th of December 2022. Now 15th of December this year to 2022. That's when I have flag up and the flag down over the new Naira printing by MSL. Now it's 30 and the January 31st or 30 IMS. Now, today about 30, 15 days ahead, we are flag of the money. No one will be now. I'm not to brother Hata, can be a fair. You get a bank, and we'll go to energy. You get an ATM, of we'll go to. You get a POS, you can go to. Mother, as well as some anything, you can go to. I didn't put the money, or the speculated up to now. Ihe ga na-agba anyị bụ withdraw limit. Ego ha ga withdraw with limit. Afụbeghị anya. Many people na-eti mkpu ya. Kedu ebe ego ọnụ nwa printịrị nọ? Iji gosigodo anyị ego anya ka o sekeleti ya. Atụ a wee na-ekwu maka a na-ejide anụ egbe n'aka wee na-asị ma nwaanyị ọ na-eri ya ma ọ naghị eri ya. Dịka ego a wee gaa viral every place. Ma ndị nọ n'ime obodo ma ndị nọ n'elu obodo ebe ọ bụla nọ. Ị na-emetụ ebe ego aka na-afụ ya anya wee na-agbazi ihe ndị mmadụ ego ole a ga na-ewere ndị mmadụ wee na-enwe umesi yes n'ọchị ekwu ka a na-eme mana ego ahụ afụbeghị ya anya ọpụ na ọ dị isepụ oche ahụ gọvanọ and senators ndị anaghị etite okwu nke ahụ to make sure that na this one go viral emefele na ego iprintịrị onwe ndị printịrị n'iche ọ ya wee ruo ha buru ya ka ọnwụ na eprintịrị nwa obere nke ọ ya wee mezi ya ọkwụkwọ enwezie kanta ya ka ọ gịnị maka na o nwere kọz na mmadụ ga-eburu ego wee bupute weburu kanta wee nye ire kasị gị n'ọka nta mmadụ wee bụ ihe gị nke ọma ọ bụrụzie kanta ka iji anyị agaghị na-ekwu okwu ya anụmara ake ndị a na-ekere ga na-achị mgbe withdraw limit ma dimen 50% ịpụ ego ahụ anya ka ọ gaa viral adịghị ekwu okwu agba nketa na-ekwu okwu withdraw ihe anyị ga-ewithdraw aka wee fụ ya anya dịka mfụgịrị ya anya
ịmalụgo na mgbe anyị na-ekwukwu okwu withdraw limit ya n'ọkwa efukwe anya ka anyị sokwu wee na-ekwu because not the limited ọ ya mere na ọ dịrị ịfụlụ ya all limit a mere ịfụlụ ya all the limit mere ịfụbe ya anya
okwu withdraw limit ya bifo anyị ekwu okwu nke a mana tata bọtaachị afụbeghị ego ahụ anya anaghị eti mkpu ya wee na-efele ga agọ ndị mmadụ ego dowere ego printịrị ọfụọ agba nkịtị nkịta na a na-ego ka akpọrọ ya jee kpọchie ndị na-aja data na-achị ka ndị anwakwa anwakwa oke ogboro na-aba ana m ajụ kedu ndị bụ naija data nwa Anambra steeti na naija data Abia steeti na naija data Imo steeti na naija data kedu ndị nke bụ naija data na-ekwu okwu ya akpọ onwe ha fata amara ebe ha bụ ma ọ na-aja na nwee yizi ya ha nọ n'ọfịs ha agwa n'izu anyị ka ihe ọ ya ege ode ya sị nke ebe niile ka dịka na Niger Delta who are those Niger Delta kedu ndị bụ ga papa kpọrọ ha ọga na Niger Delta bụ afa mmadụ
nke nwere onwe gị sokwu na
a
ndị
na-ekwu ego ndị mmadụ emetụrụ ka a na-apụta ha anya ya kpọchie ya ka a jụọ ese a na-asị anyị na ndị Niger Delta atakpụtụkwara ya na pịa onye bụ Niger Delta onye nne ego ma ụgọ Niger Delta ihe ya na-ekwu okwu ihe dị mkpa na-ekwu okwu ndị Niger Delta si na enwe nweta isi
last enwe ndị bụ ndị Niger Delta and otu isi ekwuzi ya kịta
Anambra enwetakwa ọyị kedu ndị ahụ kpọrọ ya afa ha
before nweta ọyụl onwe ndị nwebe ọyụl a gboo bifo nnụọ wee nweta
ya ndị nwe agbụgbọ oke ndị ahụ nwebe onye Imo steeti na Abia steeti ngwa kpọrọ ya afa ndị ahụ si na Imo steeti na Abia steeti nwanne kpọrọ ya afa
ngwa daalụ so much for joining us daalụ maka ijoin anyị this evening we are already running out of time. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. It is Street Report on Ebona at the 103.5 FM. We are beginning to wind down to that part where I will say, goodbye. But before I do that, let me bring you up to speed on some of the things that World Bank said about, the economic impact of the recent Naira redesign on Nigerian household and businesses. So even before Gundaji, Kazaure began talking about it, the World Bank already talked about it to an extent. They said the newly designed 1,000 Naira, 500 Naira, and 200 Naira notes were unveiled by President Muhammadu Buhari on November 23rd as proposed by the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN. The issues raised by the World Bank were contained in a 68-page report titled Nigeria Development Update, December 2022, Nigeria's Choice, English. According to the financial institution similar to the global economy environment, Nigeria's economic performance has weakened since the previous report was published in June 2022 under the title of the Continuing Urgency of Business Unusual. At present, households and firms already face elevated financial pressure from prolonged high inflation recently compounded by external food and fuel price shocks and the several floods, and phasing out existing Naira notes over a short time period may add to their challenges, it stated. The World Bank stated that the timing and short transition period of the Nigerian Naira redesign may weigh on economic activities. And that is, the way it is really. So this is how I will call it a day on this particular edition of Street Report on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. Thank you so much, you that listen, you that called in. These issues are things we must talk about, and as we just talked about it now, Gudaji, Kazaure, already is like a prominent person that is talking so much about it already. The common person also will have to air his or her views, and we've done that here, and the social change we hope to cause in this is like we hope that our voice is heard, and then the right things will be done the right way to ease the hurt on the common person, because basically the common Nigerian is going through a lot already. And that said, this is how I call it a day on this edition of Street Report on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. I remain Martin Ifeanyi Chukwu, Ekezie, and I will say Happy New Year in advance, till I see you again, till you hear from me again, till we hear from each other again, in the new year. Shalom.
I left them boys for my side.